Hello, Younger Old here and welcome to my channel. Now today I want to talk about riding your own ride and your choice of bike. Stay tuned and watch the intro. Now it's all too easy to be influenced by others and how and what we ride. Now your mates will probably have all the best intentions, but they'll advise you on this bike or that bike, and you need this and how you should ride, you need more power. The reality is, most bikes with 50 brake horsepower will outperform most family cars. Having said that, is me having owned some of the most powerful bikes ever made. You need to know and realise your limitations even more as we get older, as they will surely change. You may not have the physical strength you used to have, enabling you to hold up a heavy bike upright while stationary. We have to accept that changes in our health or our ability will have a direct effect on what and how we ride. Changes in our personal situations, they may not force a change in what we ride, but they may make you think, is it time to change? If you've been watching my channel, you'll realise that I've just changed my bike and now own a Kawasaki Versys 1000 SE, which after the short time I have owned it, I really thought it was the perfect bike for the wife and I to go touring on, here and abroad. But sadly, as you know, I dropped the bike while touring in Devon. We were stationary on a very steep camber, and by the time my left foot reached the ground, we were leaning over too much, and over it went. We were not hurt in any way, and the only bike damage was a broken foot peg. But it's put the wife off. She now says her biking days are over. She now just looks upon what could have happened if we were riding at some speed and came off. A recent spell in hospital has needed me to make some changes in my life, in a few ways, not only at home, but probably also out on the bike. I may know more by the time this video is uploaded, but it's now got me thinking, it could be time to change yet again. Travel insurance will probably now increase for me a fair bit, and I wouldn't really want to go abroad without my wife. My group are all couples, so I don't really fancy being the odd one out. So it looks like any touring I do will now be here in the UK, and I'll be mostly going solo. Now that don't worry me at all, I get on with myself, and my voices and I rarely argue. But I'm just thinking, will my bike now be the right one? I've already had a quick look at what I could get. At the end of the day, I can't really go out at the minute, so may as well look at bikes on the computer. But it would have to be lower than the Versys. It is a tall bike, and even though I'm 6'2", it's still a case of, getting my leg up high enough to mount the bike. I might have less movement in that department now, since being in hospital. The Versys is a lot lighter than the GTR 1400, but it's still a heavy bike, so once again, I'd probably look at something a little bit lighter as well. Most say, you'll be alright to keep the Versys, but by the way things are looking, there could be a few problems. Hopefully not. I want to have a bike that will do what I want it to do and be in some comfort nowadays. I don't see a point in having a bike that does a lot more than I need it to do. Riding bikes is a major part of my life. It's just what I love to do, and I want to continue more than anything. And I'm prepared to make any changes or sacrifices in my life to enable me to continue to ride. My wife would never ask or expect me to stop riding. She knows what it means to me. But likewise, I would never expect her to change her mind not to stop riding. We both have our opinions, but then we both respect each other's opinion. Our little touring group are an absolutely great bunch of people, and they would still welcome me to tour with them, but as they're mostly couples, I feel like the odd one out, being the only single on the trips. When we was on a tour, we used to spend the daytime with them, riding round, visiting here and there, but in the evening my wife used to have some food in our residence and have a quiet evening in, something we rarely get a chance to do at home. We do have a very busy household. So there's no way I could burden or encroach on another couple's downtime in the evening. It just wouldn't feel right. So depending on how I recover, I plan to go moto camping. Not any of this wild camping malarkey. I want a site with nice loos, showers, benches and tables, and a little bit of comfort. An added bonus with a pub or cafe nearby, in case I don't want to cook one evening. I can go out and get something to eat, go back down to my tent, relax, and watch something that has been downloaded onto my tablet. The one advantage I will have is that I can go at short notice and pick some decent weather. I'm not so much a fair weather rider, but I am certainly a fair weather camper. Sitting in a wet, muddy field, hoping the tent will stand up to the wet and the wind, is not my idea of fun. I will update this when I'm recovered, and then I'm in the right place to make a proper decision on the way forward. I have a couple of bikes in mind, should I feel the need to change again, but I have booked and paid for a few nights in a static caravan. My wife says I should still go, but I'm not sure as what to do as yet. I'll just have to see how I am at the time. If I do go, I'll probably still take the Versys, as it will help me come to a decision on whether to change it or not, depending how the trip goes. As for the journey on the tour, it depends on how I feel. I shall set off with everybody else, but whether I remain with them for the whole journey is another matter. At the end of the day, you've got to ride your own ride, and if I feel that I need to stop and have a bit of a break, then I'll do so. I don't expect everybody else to stop with me. I know the way, I can always meet them later. But at the end of the day, you've got to make sure that you ride to what suits you, and to keep safe and feel safe. So if you've enjoyed this content, please do the ticks to like and subscribe. And as always, take care, ride safe, and bye for now.